On a foggy autumn night, tucked in the woods of a small town, there was an old house that stood empty for years. It was known by the locals as Merren's Mansion, named after the family who once lived there. No one dared go inside, especially not after sundown. Rumor had it that whoever entered the house was never quite the same when they came out, if they came out at all. The merren family had mysteriously vanished one night decades ago, leaving their belongings and dinner half-eaten, as if they'd simply stood up and walked away. Over time, tales grew around what could have happened, and strange sightings were whispered about. A figure at a window, shadows moving through the house, soft music playing on windless nights. These were all part of the legends that parents told to frighten their children into behaving. But the warnings had become serious enough that few children dared the grounds of Merren's mansion. One night, a young man named Liam, visiting from out of town, heard about the mansion and laughed it off as an exaggerated story. He wasn't one to believe in ghosts, but the challenge intrigued him. When his friend dared him to stay a night in Merren's mansion, he agreed, brushing aside the warnings as superstitions. Liam arrived at the house just before midnight, the air thick and silent around him. Armed only with a flashlight, he stepped into the mansion, feeling the temperature drop sharply as he crossed the threshold. Dust covered every surface, and cobwebs lined the corners, making the house seem like it had been frozen in time. He made his way to the living room, where a grand piano sat in the corner, an eerie silence draped over it. Liam decided to settle down, exploring the house room by room. Each room felt colder than the last, and an unsettling feeling weighed on his chest. In the kitchen, the old dining table still had plates on it, as if dinner had just been interrupted. Suddenly, a faint melody floated through the house. A haunting, distant tune played on the piano. The keys seemed to press down on their own, creating an unnerving symphony that echoed through the empty halls. Frozen in fear, Liam stared as the ghostly figure of a woman appeared at the piano. She looked both lost and angry, her hollow eyes fixed on him. Slowly, she stood and glided toward him, her feet never touching the floor. Liam tried to back away, but the door he had entered through was now shut tight, and the figure grew closer, whispering, "Why did you leave us?" Liam stammered that he didn't understand, but the ghost's face twisted with sorrow. In a breathless voice, she said, "They promised to come back, but they never did." Just as her cold, transparent fingers brushed his face, he bolted for the door, which finally gave way. He sprinted through the woods, not stopping until he reached his car, hands trembling as he fumbled for his keys.